back up. But anyway, going back because that was weird what happened. But anyway, they found the ship. This is part of it, or this is what it looked like. Like I said, that movie Antebellum proves that, that they still have modern day plantations out there. They just kind of conceal it. But it says, reading on, it says, now 3 years later, the city of Mobile finds itself standing on the brink of tourism boom as interest in the story of the Clotilda and the lives of his resilient captive builds. It says Patterson had agreed to drive around Africatown, an area where many of the ship's finals or the ship's captives finally settled and where Patterson himself was raised. It says we began to tour at this scrap of land by the Mobile River beneath the soaring interstate bridge where a group of Clotilda's slave ship descendants met annually for their Under the Bridge festival to quote unquote or quote talk about how our ancestors got here and to have some food and some dance. Okay, so the recounts of slavery. It says Patterson said there was no festival that day, though that the atmosphere was just muted. Just one woman and her grandson played the marshy water's edge below the steady hum of traffic. All right, and now I'm going to end it there. But anyway, the good thing about it, or the point I wanted to make, was the fact that they tried to do away with it. All right, because they didn't want people to know about that. Okay, but the Spirit of the Lord is cold-blooded because these things are being brought out. So this is the book of Obadiah 1-6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How is his hidden things sought up? Because as I was stating earlier, if it was up to this devil, if he was able to sweep his bullshit under the rug, he would definitely get away with it, man. But he can't. Because you have the men of the Lord, the prophets, which were out here week in and week out and constantly putting out this information. Hey, he can't do it's shit, man. He can't get away. That's the reason why he's gonna have to cut the internet eventually, because hey, he can't sweep this under the rug no more. Okay, because once he's trying to do away with it, like when he tries to get control of the narrative, then something else exposes him, because we're in a time now of America's skirt being lifted, man. Okay, they being exposed. All the nations are seeing what this devil is really about. Because I remember a few years ago when they was taking down the Confederate statues and they was protesting it. They was like, the only thing you Americans have to live for is your slavery and your fucking Confederate statues, man. A lady said that. I think she was like from Europe, out of Europe somewhere. She said only thing America really shows for its history is their slavery and their Confederate statues that they erect. And this is the reason why they took down, what's that devil that had the Gadite and the Judite on the side of them? I think it was not Teddy Roosevelt. I think it was Theodore Roosevelt, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Salaki if I'm off. But matter of fact, let me double check that. Let me double check that just to be sure. Last Confederate, the statue. Lee statue, Confederate statues. We had one this year. Confederate 73 Confederate monuments was removed. Robert E. Lee. Slocky if I'm off. Wait a minute. Confederate statue. Confederate statue. Not still ATU. Statue. Horse. Is in Indiana. And Negro. I know that's probably kind of detailed. Yep, Teddy Roosevelt. That's what I thought. Yep, Theodore Roosevelt. It's called the equestrian statue of Theodore Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt. Okay, the one with Gad, Judah, or Jake on the side of him. That's pursuant to the book of Ecclesiastes, I believe, 10:7. It says, when I seen princes as servants and I saw servants riding upon horses, that's the statue right here. Okay, what are the chances that they had that? You see what I'm saying? So, hey, this is all America has to show. That's why it says shameful spewing upon thy glory. All right, so this is the book of Isaiah 47:1. It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, okay, which is America. Okay. It says, sit on the ground. There is no throne. The dust is confusion. It says, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. So take millstones and grind meal and uncover thy locks. Make bare the legs, uncover thy thigh, and pass over the rivers. And thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. And I would take vengeance, and I would not meet thee as a man. Okay, and this is the reason why you being exposed now. Okay, because it's time for you to go down. You know, like usually when a bad guy power gets found out about, or when it finds out that you were the bad guy and you was the one pulling the strings, you get exposed, and before everybody comes to take you down and take you out of your misery, man. And that's what's happening with this damn devil, man. This is the reason why he's trying to hide every goddamn thing, because he can't hide it no more. You know, everybody's woke up to what the hell you were about. You know. So anyway, let's go from here to the book of Habakkuk. Actually, yeah, Habakkuk 2:16 is the point. But let's go to verses. Let's start at verses 7. It says, surely it says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. This is going into the other nations, okay? Because the type of hell you've put on nations, sanctions, like right now you're trying to put sanctions on the Russians because they're trying to go and invade Ukraine, which is technically theirs. Okay, so what do you have to do with that? But see, your interest lies elsewhere. So that's the reason why you want to take over. So therefore, you putting sanctions on people. And people are remembering that, man, because when it comes time for you to go to war, your own allies are not going to back you up in this. Okay, because you're actually fucking around your own allies, too. Like, I believe when America was to send 8,500 troops over to Ukraine just in case of an invasion, the UK, they was like, man, we don't know if we want to do that. Now, I don't know if they got back on board with it, but overall, man, a lot of your NATO alliance or a lot of your NATO allegiance are not really feeling your moves no more, man. Like Turkey right now, you pretty much lost the ally in Turkey, though they're still part of NATO on paper. Turkey is not even really fucking with Babylon like that, man. Ever since that coup back in 2016, they realized that you were setting up terrorist groups to go and destabilize lands for your own personal gain. Okay, which put the whole NATO in a bad light. Okay, which all of you are a bunch of damn devils. But anyway, it says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of thy people should spoil thee, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land and of the city and of all that dwell therein, right? Okay, bombing innocent villages. It was to the point they said that it's literally a bomb going off every 10 minutes, man, in the Middle East due to you Babylon, you Americans, you know. They said that out of 226 years, America has been at war 222 years. And hey, don't get it twisted. Our slave trade was a declaration of war on our nation. And there's still a declaration of war on us. You see what I'm saying? That was the real hollow or the coast hollow. That was the real one. Not that concocted garbage they were talking about during the time of the Third Reich. No, that's not it. The real H word is basically what happened starting in 1507 in Portugal, Spain, the first concept of the slave trade. And even then you had jakes being shipped before then, okay? Because the first slave trade didn't start in 1618. That stuff, that's a lie. That's when Jake got brought over to this side of the world. But even then in Portugal and Spain, you had so-called black men of color being shipped to the side of the world too, you know? So anyway, it says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people should spoil thee because of men's blood and for the violence of the land and of the city and all that dwell therein. But woe to him that covereth an evil covetous to his house. Right, because you stole this place. Who you steal it from? You stole it from Gadite, the Native Americans, man. Okay, you stole it from Issachar. You stole it from the Northern Kingdom because they were over here first. Right? And it says here, to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Right. And the power of evil in your mindset is the Most High getting ready to destroy you, man. Okay, because you think that your military, your space force, all those things is going to merit you some type of profit to when the Lord comes back and destroy your society. No, bro, you going down. And it says, and thou hast consulted shame to thy house, first and foremost through slavery. Okay, which slavery was just scratching the surface. This devil has a lot more to pay for. It says, shame to thy house by cutting off many people and has sinned against thy soul. Right. And the main people that you fucked over was the children of Israel, man. Okay, because hey, you were supposed to be brothers unto us because we had the same parents. But the scriptures also say there was two manners of people, two nations in thy womb. Okay, the older should serve the younger. Okay, and it says, and thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people and hast sinned against thy soul. It says, for the stone should cry out of the wall and the beam out of the timber should answer it. Right, man. And the stones are going into those laser beams, man. Okay, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh coming back with the chariots and to destroy your kingdom. Okay, it says, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. And woe to him that builded a town with blood and established a city by iniquity, man. And how did you establish Babylon? Through slavery, bro. Okay, something that you tried to sweep under the rug, man. Like, look at this. This is your history right here, man. You know, this is your history. Lynching of blacks. And I noticed Google been trying to do. Matter of fact, the best way to really look at this is like DuckDuckGo. Okay, because you know Google is totally controlled by the media, man. All of it is, but Esau, he owns this lock, stock, and barrel. Okay, but look at this, man. It was a while back that you couldn't even really find pictures like this, but now, hey, they are resurfacing because the spirit of the Lord is active in the earth. Like, look at this, man. This is real people. These are Negroes, and look at the stark look on these fucking devils' face. And this is how they feel about us today. Because they give you a job in corporate America, or, you know, you get a raise or whatever, they give you a so-called opportunity. If they had their way to do this, they're still going to do it. Okay? Because, hey, their horns are getting ready to be shown, man. Like, that's the spirit. This is Emmett Till. He was a victim of Esau. You know? It's a little boy right here, man. You should have seen what they did to him. He was totally mutilated, man. And he ain't the only Jake. It was millions of more Jakes that caught that same treatment that they don't talk about. You know? But it says, behold, is it not the Lord of hosts that the people should labor in the very fire, and that the people should weary themselves for the very vanity? It says, for the earth should be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Right? Because, hey, this gospel is being preached. You know? Everybody is knowing about the Israelites and who we are and what we stand for, whether they accept it or not. But woe to him that is giving his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him and makest them drunken, that thou may look upon their nakedness, man. And that's these philosophies, bro. Okay, trying to cut off our heritage, telling us that we're African, that we're Negroes, that we're colored, blacks, you know, niggas, spics, Mexicans, etc. You're going to pay for that. That's that strong drink, you know, because you made us go off. Because, hey, now that we're following your customs, we're not keeping a, well, the majority of our people are not keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, let alone knowing his name. And it says, and thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink also thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. And the cup of the Lord's right hand should be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing should be upon thy glory. Ooh-wee. So, hey, you in trouble, Esau, man. Okay, you are in it, and the Most High is going to make sure you feel this judgment, you know. You know, we saying it, but eventually it's all going to come to pass. This devil has something awful to pay for. Like it tells you in Ecclesiastes, that says the thing the Most High required was past. All right. Last precept here. This is the book of Obadiah 1:10. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. I can stop right there because this just sums it up. It says, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captives his forces, and foreigners enter into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them, right? Because, hey, the Babylonians took us down. Esau had some type of influence in it. Okay, he gave us up. You know, Esau was letting them know, well, look, this is the passage. This is where they go. This is how they do X, Y, and Z. Because who would know us better than Esau, man, when we come out of the same foreparent? So he always had some type of influence within our captivity, even if it was indirectly somehow. Okay, even going into the time of, I believe, was it Esther, if I'm not mistaken? Was it Esther or Ruth? I think, but when we were delivered by Mordecai, basically you had Hagan and Agagite, man, which was of the tribe of Amalek. Okay, at the time, he was trying to put Israelites on the gallows and to slew the infants, the women, the children, the men. Okay, same thing now. And it says, but thou shouldest not look upon the day of thy brother, and the day that he became a stranger, Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. And it says, and thou shalt have not entered to the gates of my people in the day of their calamity. And yea, thou shouldest not look on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither should thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. Okay, so the Most High is giving you a list of offenses, man, that you're going to have to pay for. Okay, and you're going to pay for it, man. You're going to drink that cup of slavery, eat. All right, but anyway, you've been exposed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. With that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and a Bible ball.